collapse overnight at a well-known homeless encampment in Seattle's Little Saigon, an area hit with a surge in crime recently.
Police say a man was shot several times at an encampment near 10th Avenue South and South Lane Street. That's just east of I-5. It's an area that's been no stranger to violent crime. KOMO's Jonathan Cho is live with the latest in this Project Seattle report tonight. Jonathan?
Yeah, Eric, it all went down at this encampment behind me. Investigators so far releasing very few details, but the shooter is still on the run.
So I actually heard like 2 gunshots and maybe a little bit, like 15 seconds later, a third, and then a fourth one.
A frightening morning for Joseph Atwood, who lives in a nearby tent.
Some people walked by our tent, and all I heard was, yeah, he shot him.
Witnesses say they saw a frantic chase through this homeless encampment in the Little Saigon neighborhood.
They were running through here. They started up top.
With one man shooting another multiple times.
Nobody lived here. None of those guys lived here.
Right now, the circumstances around the shooting remain unclear. Seattle police only releasing a few details saying the shooting suspect got away. You feel like these homeless encampments attract more crime?
Oh, almost certainly. Yeah.
This encampment at 10th Avenue South and South Lane Street is also right next to the Seattle Indian Health Board and Leshai House Senior Living. Matt Johnson makes food deliveries to the apartments.
I feel for the seniors. I feel for the homeless.
We've also covered several shootings here before. The city of Seattle's crime database shows during the past 3 years, violent crime has gone up on this specific block.
I hear shootings all the time around here. Too many to even count.
Corey Metcalf is homeless and says this latest incident is a reminder living on the streets remains a high risk. Are you concerned for your safety after this?
I have a feeling that the shootings aren't happening randomly, so I try to stay out of trouble, but I mean, a little bit, yeah, I am, because anything could happen around here.
LA Rams and Cincinnati Bengals square off this Sunday in Super Bowl 56. And tonight, local bars are gearing up big time for the biggest crowds they've seen in years because of the pandemic. KOMO's Suzanne Fon shows us what they're doing to get ready, what's new, and what is still in play.
Getting fired up about the big game on Sunday?
The AFC champ.
You're not alone. Count on finding a big crowd of Super Bowl fans at Queen Anne Beer Hall.
Yeah, we have already over 200 reservations, so we're figuring about 300 to 350 people.
The popular Seattle bar is gearing up.
We've added so many more TVs since last year as well. Yeah, I mean, probably 200 or 300 pounds of wings is always a huge one. And then we'll be making pretzels for probably 2 days, fresh, from scratch.
And count on beer. Plenty of it.
We're expecting over 1,000, probably over 1,000 pints that day.
Whether it's a big place like Queen Anne Beer Hall or a more intimate place like Ballard Loft and Bar, you'll be asked to follow all the mask and vaccination rules.
Masks if you're not sitting at your seat. You know, you have your vaccination card, ID, or a negative test.
King County is, of course, requiring vaccination cards upon entry. And we're enforcing that just to try and keep our guests and our staff safe.
At Sean O'Donnell's Irish Pub in Fremont, they're counting on big business.
Super Bowl might be a day that folks decide to come out after not being out to restaurants or bars for a couple of years.
What a difference a year makes.
Last year at this time, we were at 25% capacity, and it's tough to throw a party when the building's only a quarter full. This year with the full capacity, will be a little bit intimidating for some, but we hope that we can do it in a safe manner that gives people confidence that they're making a good decision by coming out and supporting a small business.
In Seattle, Suzanne Fon, KOMO News.
Mary Preston, first things first, as you just mentioned there at the top of the show, both of these deputies are alert. They are conscious and they are recovering here tonight at Peace Health St. Joseph in Bellingham. As for how this all started, we're told that 2 neighbors were shooting at each other, prompting this response from the sheriff's office. So by the time we got to that scene near Maple Falls, it was very dark, and there was, and likely still is, a large police presence there. This all started at around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Again, reports of 2 men firing guns at one another. And when those first 2 deputies got there, we're told they tried having a conversation in the street with one of those guys. The Whatcom County Sheriff's Office tells us that man had a shotgun and shot both deputies. They were rushed away from that neighborhood to this hospital. Tactical teams were then called in, and that shooter finally surrendered about 2 hours later. As for this investigation and the steps ahead, Bellingham police will handle those updates. We were able to catch up with one of their lieutenants tonight.
That initial call was like I said, very frightening for all of us. And for the community as well, we didn't know what the extent of those, the deputies were injured, who else may have been injured out there, what the extent of that scene was.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.